As the U.S.-Israel war on Iran stretches into its fifth week, the conflict is entering a highly volatile new phase. The rules of engagement are being actively rewritten. For the past month, this fighting has been contained almost entirely to the skies, relying on long-range airstrikes and aerial bombardments. Now, military planners are drafting a very different kind of campaign. This aerial view shows the Pentagon, where defense officials are currently drawing up blueprints for direct U.S. ground incursions into sovereign Iranian territory. According to leaked internal discussions, this wouldn't look like the sprawling, multi-year occupation seen in the early 2000s. Instead, they are planning highly targeted, rapid-strike ground raids designed to last for a matter of weeks. To pull this off, the operations would rely on a heavily armed mix of elite U.S. Special Operations Forces, working alongside conventional infantry troops. By stepping out of the air and onto the ground, American personnel would be directly exposed to Iran's extensive network of drones, ballistic missiles, and improvised explosives. It takes the conflict into much deadlier territory. The targets for these proposed incursions center on the facilities that keep the Iranian state funded and armed. Here, we are looking at satellite imagery of Karg Island. This small, heavily fortified piece of land serves as the absolute nerve center for Iran's oil export industry, making it a primary objective for a potential ground seizure. And looking further south at this satellite view of the Strait of Hormuz, military planners are mapping out a series of secondary coastal raids along the Iranian side of the water. The tactical goal in this specific maritime choke point is to actively hunt down and dismantle the mobile missile and drone batteries that Tehran uses to threaten passing commercial ships. Internal estimates suggest that executing these coastal and island sweeps would take anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months to complete. By seizing the oil terminals and clearing the coastal launch pads simultaneously, the U.S. aims to paralyze the Iranian economy while stripping away its military ability to control Gulf waters. To prepare for these exact scenarios, the administration has deployed thousands of combat-ready soldiers from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division to the region. They join units like the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, arriving in the Middle East aboard the amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli, bringing strike fighter aircraft and tactical assets into theater. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt characterized these massive troop movements as a strategy to give the executive branch maximum optionality. The logistics are in place and the troops are positioned, but President Donald Trump has not yet given the final authorization to cross the border. Stating thousands of Marines just outside Iranian territory acts as an immediate pressure valve. It gives diplomats a heavily armed backstop to use as leverage if ongoing negotiations fail. Inside Tehran, the reaction to these troop movements has been immediate. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf publicly warned that his forces are waiting to, quote, set fire to American soldiers as soon as they touch the ground. Ghalibaf also issued a sharp warning to neighboring countries. If any regional partner allows their territory to be used to support these incursions, Iran will launch targeted strikes against their vital infrastructure in return. Furthermore, military officials are telegraphing their intent to open an entirely new front of retaliation, far away from the initial landing zones. Here is a map of the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Iran has threatened to activate its heavily armed Houthi allies in Yemen to block the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, a geographic choke point that handles a massive portion of global commercial shipping. This is an asymmetric response. By firing swarms of drones and ballistic missiles into these crowded shipping lanes, Tehran can leverage its proxy forces to create massive disruptions without committing its own conventional army to a direct fight. A tactical mission to secure a single oil terminal in the Gulf could quickly spiral into a blockade of international trade routes, freezing global energy markets almost overnight. To prevent that exact scenario, mediators from Pakistan are currently hosting emergency talks with foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt. They are attempting to broker a de-escalation, but they are negotiating against a ticking clock, with Iranian officials explicitly stating their missiles are already in place and ready to fire. Faster, more urgent offshore. With thousands of American Marines afloat offshore and Iranian missile batteries on high alert, the margin for error has vanished. One stray rocket or one contested beach landing is all it takes to pull the entire Middle East into the fighting. The Pentagon has built the strategy and positioned the troops. Now, the world waits to see who issues the final order, knowing that while the initial raids may be limited, the fallout will hit every corner of the globe.